Who is there?
It's Roger, the intern from Richardson School of Law.
Oh, Roger. Come sit down. You scared the stuffing out of me. What are you doing here so late on a Saturday night? I know that as a litigation partner, I have no life. But why is a nice young man like you still here at this hour, and on date night?
I'm studying for my civil procedure final.
Civil procedure? You don't have to miss date night for civil procedure. Just talk about international shoe, throw in something about the social context, and mention Judge Hall from the Buffalo Creek disaster.
No, you don't understand. It's not Yamamoto's final. It's Krieger's final.
Oh my God. I took civil procedure from her back in the day at Stanford. She got me all fired up about being a civil rights litigator. And now look at me. Sure, I've changed the world with cutting-edge legal strategies, run circles around big corporate defendants, successfully argued the cause of the Hawaiian nation before the International Court of Justice at The Hague. Big deal. Here I am, 39 years old, still single, at work at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, with bad eyesight and a spastic colon. If you have half a brain, you'll run from litigation as fast as you can. Trust me, you'll be better off in the long run.
I have no intention of going into litigation. I live only for conservation transactions. But I still need to pass my civil procedure exam. Would you help me? I can't seem to figure out how Krieger thinks. All these mind maps. My brain looks like a map of the New York subway system. You've got to help me. I'm desperate.
Okay. Look, it's really not that hard. She always does exactly what she says she's going to do. Did she give you any case studies?
Yes, as a matter of fact she did.
Did you write up answers to them? Have her give you feedback on them?
Well, no. I didn't have time. I was too busy with legal practice.
You poor lamb. Don't you realize that legal practice is only 2 units, and that no one expects a first-year law student to be able to understand the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act anyway?
Well,
look, did she give you a case study with a complaint?
Yes.
Well, you should expect to see that complaint again. If I were you, I would study it very carefully and use it as a lens through which to view all of the subjects on the syllabus. That's what I did at Stanford, and I did fine.
It just didn't occur to me when she gave us a complaint that it would really, well, count. In law school, things that are practical never count. Anyway, all I remember about that complaint is something about a swirling mass of human pain.
Well, you are going to be a swirling mass of human pain if you don't work your way through the case studies and hypotheticals she gave you. Did she give you a personal jurisdiction case study? Something about some yahoos in Arizona who started an anti-immigrant militia organization?
No, there was nothing about an Arizona militia organization. But I do remember something about a dentist on a rafting trip in Idaho who ended up brain damaged.
You hopeless. You know that? Look, if you're going to do conservation transactions, you at least need to know enough about personal jurisdiction to be able to negotiate about forum selection clauses. Do you remember anything about intervention? You can be sure that if, in his will, Grandpa leaves the ranch to the Nature Conservancy, somebody in the family is going to sue, and then the Nature Conservancy will try to intervene. Would you like to work for the Nature Conservancy?
I live for nothing else. Except maybe for dancing Gangnam Style. It's my passion.
Something tells me that wouldn't be pretty. What about Rule 19 parties? Don't you imagine that when you're working for the Nature Conservancy, dealing with large donations of pristine real estate, that someone will be trying to argue that someone else, over whom the court can't obtain personal jurisdiction, is an indispensable party?
I never really thought about conservation transactions that way.
Well, you'd better start now, my little beetle nut. Try this one. Can a probate court take jurisdiction over a counterclaim for trespass?
What in the world are you talking about?
Think about it, my little cricket. If a counterclaim fell in a court, and the court didn't have jurisdiction, would the counterclaim be compulsory? Or would it make a noise? Never mind, it's an old existentialist joke. Someone your age wouldn't get it. Did she give you any other case studies?
Yes. She gave us a huge, incomprehensible file about some mess about people wanting to be brick masons in Guam. Why would anyone want to be a brick mason in Guam?
You don't know much about the world, do you, my little kumquat?
Well, I have no idea what to do with that case file, that's for sure. It's just a big mess of paper to me.
Have you read it?
Well, no. Like I said, I was too busy writing my legal practice brief.
You poor little bulbul. Well, you'd better read it. She's likely to base questions on it, you know.
What? Don't tell me I have to memorize it. It's 1,000 pages long.
Of course you don't have to memorize it. She's not a sadist, just a procedure geek. But you'll be ahead of the game if you know the basic story and understand the procedural issues it could raise. What subjects did she give it to you for?
Let's see. Oh yeah, joinder. And class actions.
Well then, it's pretty obvious then what you need to do with it. Do I have to spell it out for you?
That would help.
Now you're insulting your own intelligence.
I just feel so overwhelmed. I think I need to throw up. Do you have a wastebasket I could use?
There. It's not so bad, my little gecko. How many topics did you cover this semester?
Well, let's see. We reviewed diversity and federal question jurisdiction. We did supplemental jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction, joinder of claims and parties, Rule 19 parties, intervention, third-party claims, the Erie Doctrine, class actions.
That's all? Did she cover remedies?
Oh nuts. Do I have to know remedies?
She never tests remedies directly. But remember, you need to understand remedies to know whether complete relief can be accorded in someone's absence. And you need to know some things about remedies for class actions. And what about venue?
Oh heck. I totally forgot about venue. Oh no. I don't understand that at all.
Oh come now, my little mongoose. There are only 3 things you need to know about venue. Statutory venue, venue transfer, and foreign non-convenience. And you don't need to do any in-depth analysis. You just have to know the differences among them and where the first 2 are covered in Title 28. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
No. Not at all. I'm going to throw up for sure. Maybe I should have gone to vet school.
Don't be a fool. It's harder to get into vet school than into a quantum physics doctoral program at Princeton.
Maybe I'll go be a brick mason in Guam.
Look, if there's something you really don't understand, then ask her about it. She wants you to understand this stuff. She wants you to be excited about using the law to effect meaningful social change.
Like I said, I live only for conservation transactions.
Who says you can't change the world with conservation transactions? Or well, I'll come visit you in Guam. It may be the only way I'll ever get out of this office. Now go home and get some sleep. You can study tomorrow. Out. Out.
Good night then, Miss Dasgupta.
Good night, Roger.